Oh, hey, Harold.
Yeah.
Nice pubes.
I think it goes without saying that in a post 9/11 world, the film industry was essentially the Wild West when it came to mainstream comedies. You had your American Pies, your Judd Apatows, and the topic to this video, your stoner comedy duo. If you're watching this and for some reason don't know what a Harold and Kumar is, Harold and Kumar was a comedy trilogy revolving around two guys who love weed and get into all sorts of shenanigans. That's all I'll be saying. Not to immediately go off topic, but I don't think I'll ever get another opportunity to mention this. Harold and Kumar, the first and the second, released 4 years apart from each other, but Harold and Kumar 2 takes place immediately after the last one. Harold and Kumar's 3D Christmas came out 3 years later, but it takes place 7 years after the last movie. For the longest time, I was genuinely under the impression that Harold and Kumar as a film series had been gone for years and that this was some kind of legacy sequel. Back on topic, Harold and Kumar's 3D Christmas would release in 2011. That same year, in November 2011, it had been reported that Lionsgate began shopping around an animated series based on the films. It wasn't until the following year, in May 2012, that the series would find its home, Adult Swim. The series was set to be produced by Lionsgate Television and Bento Box, who you may know for Brickleberry, or Paradise PD, or Farzar, or Had. It's a little stress-inducing that this pilot would be greenlit at the same time as Rick and Morty. Funny how things turn out. Production would begin to move forward as the script had been completed in July 2014 with a cast read taking place that month. We actually have a bunch of photos from this reading, whether they were posted by cast members or Bento Box themselves. This one gives a decent look into the cast, including Kal Penn and John Cho as the titular comedy duo, and voice actors such as Billy West, Jess Harnell, Kari Walgren, and Fred Tatasciore. Voice actors you may recognize from fucking anything ever. We also have key art and character designs for the series, and look, I'm just gonna acknowledge the elephant in the room and say that yes, this show doesn't exactly have the most appealing style. It's definitely a far cry from the last time Harold and Kumar went animated.
Ooh, hold on, I have an idea. What the hell? Yeah.
Though I do have to wonder if anyone actually brought their own blunt. Recording sessions for the pilot would begin shortly after this initial cast read, with tweets from crew confirming that voiceover had started. Not long after, it was confirmed that animatics for the pilot had also been completed. By the way, check out this tweet I found while doing research for this video. Fucking awesome. As far as I can tell, July 2014 was full of public updates, but afterwards, radio silence. It wouldn't be until February 2015 that Kal Penn would grace us with a short snippet posted to his Instagram. Let's take a look, shall we?
Dude, why was her vagina so pixelated?
This clip is only 12 seconds long, but it raises so many questions. For starters, we get a low-quality glimpse at some finished animation from the show. We also get a brief look into the script, albeit out-of-context one-liners and their PG alternatives for ADR. We don't seem to have anything beyond February 2015, so this essentially concludes the production timeline for this pilot. John Hurwitz mentioned on Twitter that the series was due for 2015, but you're watching this video right now, so I don't think I need to spell out what happened to the show. Give it about 5 years later when yours truly just got done watching Harold and Kumar's 3D Christmas as per the holiday tradition, to which I find out this show was indeed a thing that almost happened. I'm not gonna explain beat for beat what I was doing 4 years ago because I don't fucking remember, but I did rediscover the majority of those old tweets from pre-production, made a few wacky tweets shedding some light on it, and left it at that. From that point on, I'd pretty much leave the pilot in my rearview mirror. Now, I'd be lying if I said I was the only person shedding light on this pilot. I'd like to shout out my Twitter mutual Bubbles, who's been fairly persistent towards this search throughout the years. A few lost media pages would bring attention to this pilot, but that never really elevated the search. It definitely is because this isn't a search pertaining to Goo Goo Gaga baby media, and not just because the pilot didn't look very good.
Why was her vagina so pixelated?
It was on January 25th of 2023 that Bubbles would make one of these posts bringing attention to the pilot, of which inspired me to do some further investigation, only 2 years after learning about this pilot. It was on that same day that I would find those pictures from that cast read, along with high-res key art that was apparently on Bento Box's website this whole time. Not long after, Bubbles would make an extraordinary suggestion that I never would have thought of in a million years.
Do any 2014-2015 era Bento Box animators have an animation reel?
It was too obvious. Maybe I sound a bit sarcastic, but I literally don't know how that didn't cross my mind earlier. Now, maybe it's on me for searching Bento Box Reel on Google and expecting actual results, but I didn't find any reels belonging to specific individuals who worked on the pilot. I did, however, find 2 company reels that Bento Box had graciously put up in 2014 and 2016 respectively. I watched the one from 2014 first, and although nothing from the pilot was actually shown, it does get a brief shout out at the end. We also see the names of other pilots that were being worked on around this time. As far as I'm aware, none of the pilots listed here have any material available online, so that seems to be its own lost media rabbit hole. For all I know, the fabled Russell Brand pilot might have had the most visceral imagery conceivable. So the 2014 reel doesn't have any material from the pilot. Great. Time to move on to the 2016 reel. Now this is when shit hit the fan.
Fuck is this shit? I hate Bob's Burgers. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This reel had 10 seconds of completed animation from the pilot. From these clips, we learned that the show would have contained blood and animated taint. Awesome. At least we see Rosenberg. Also, I can't help but not point out the choice of music in this reel.
Get Wi-Fi anywhere you go!
Hold up.
It was at this point that I'd lock the book in and do some further detective work. That 12-second footage from Cal Penn was funny in how ambiguous it was, but these 10 seconds, man, it just raises too many questions! From that point on, I found a few portfolios from people who worked on the pilot, but I'm not gonna list them all out of respect. Of the portfolios that I did find, none of them actually had material from the pilot, so I'm not just gonna list a bunch of names and go, here's a bunch of busy people. I, on the other hand, reached out to some of these busy people, but of the few responses that I did get, none of them actually had material from the pilot, nor the full pilot itself. I did, however, get some pointers in relation to the pilot. First of all, the synopsis was essentially a parody of Lost, which at that point would have been a pretty dated reference, which is possibly why it didn't get picked up for a full series. Shocking that this could have been the reason for cancellation and not anything else seen in the pilot. Another thing, the pilot isn't technically lost media per se. This can probably go for a lot of lost media in general, but Bento Box tends to keep their pilots in an archive, so its whereabouts are an unknown. I didn't find much else afterwards, but I will mention this one portfolio belonging to Paul C. Lee, which contained 2 whole animatic sequences from the pilot. I'm not going to show them in their entirety because there's more animated blood and anuses, but I'll link it down below for those who want to check it out. From that point on, I'd pretty much leave the pilot in my rearview mirror again, and it's not that I don't care, but as shocking as this might sound, I have other shit to do in my life. That's probably not the best thing to say in my own video about my own lost media search, but it's the ugly truth. At this point, if no one even has the pilot, then it might as well fade into obscurity with all the details left in ambiguity. Until now! This year, I got to watch the pilot. This isn't some elaborate PR stunt. I'm not gonna talk a big game and cut to the Mr. Hands video. I've seen the pilot. Legally, I can't show it because I don't actually have a file on me, but legally, I'm allowed to say that I watched it. So without further ado, an exclusive recap of the Harold and Kumar series pilot.
Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded in here.
Before I begin, I'd like to make it very clear that everything I say beyond this point is actually what happens, unless stated otherwise. The episode begins with Harold and Kumar on the Howard Stern show. Kumar pressures Harold into a world's largest taint contest. How awesome. Also, I don't know if that's actually Howard Stern or just John DiMaggio doing his best Stern impression.
My new album is,
Shut up! Margot, can I see you naked?
Of course not.
Then get out!
Harold is about to win with the taint measuring at 4.5 inches until the Ukrainian wrestler with a huge dick print walks on set and tears his thong off. It turns out his taint is actually shorter by 1/4 and Harold and Kumar end up winning tickets to Jamaica. Kumar remarks, "Don't be a bumbleclat," and repeatedly kisses Harold on the cheek, to which Stern replies, "You and your boyfriend are going to Jamaica. Cue the title card." Now, the rest of the pilot was in a finished state, but there wasn't an animated intro yet. There was, however, a completed theme song, and oh my god, dude. Just imagine Fat Man Scoop rapping over a beach straight out of WarioWare on the Wii. Maybe if this video gets enough attention, the theme song will just resurface online, but oh my god, dude, I just wish you could hear it.
Harold and Kumar, One of them is Indian, the other one's Korean. Harold and Kumar. They're highly medicated and they animated.
We cut to Harold and Kumar's apartment complex, where we see Maria arguing with her dad. Paula Garces reprises her role as Maria, but her dad is only here for like 10 seconds, so he's not actually voiced by Danny Trejo. Harold trips down the apartment stairs and knocks Maria's dad out with his suitcase, to which she remarks, "So what?" Take that clip out of context, haters. As Maria leaves, Kumar tells Harold, "Don't worry, you'll be touching her boobs or vagina or butthole in no time." Amen, brother. Harold and Kumar aboard their flight and run into J.J. Abrams, to which Kumar proposes the idea of a Star Wars spin-off focusing on Jar Jar Binks. Hey man, in this day and age, that shit might as well happen on Disney+. Kumar is then escorted to the front by a flight attendant named Dick. As Harold and Kumar move to their correct seats, they are approached by a blonde woman in skimpy clothing with big tatas. She moves to the window seat of the row before realizing she got the wrong seat and moves to a different row. Afterwards, a fat, sweaty man who is really hungry moves to the window seat. The pilot, in this pilot, then urges passengers to turn their cell phones off. I guess mentioning this serves no relevance, but he's supposed to be a parody of Denzel Washington in the movie Flight. Get ready for a lot of reference humor in this pilot. As the flight takes off, everyone on board is excited to watch the in-flight movie starring Bill Murray. Much to the passengers' dismay, the movie is actually an R.C. Wes Anderson drama. Bored of this shitty-ass movie, Harold and Kumar open their phones against the pilot's wishes. Kumar quips, "You're not supposed to jerk off in the airplane bathroom, but that didn't stop me." Dick, the flight attendant, proceeds to scold them before experiencing turbulence on the plane. As it turns out, the pilot has been snorting coke and mixing lean in the cockpit. This causes the plane to crash, kicking off the Lost parody. Get excited! We cut to the apartment complex again, where we see Rosenberg and Goldstein, both of which are voiced by their respective actors from the movies. Goldstein informs Rosenberg that his favorite porn video is back online, which is a weirdo pregnancy lactation clip. I'm starting to get the idea that the Lost parody isn't why this pilot tested poorly. We're then introduced to a side character in this pilot, who's a comically short man named Arnold. I feel like I'm missing something here. He urges Rosenberg and Goldstein to turn on the news, to which they find out J.J. Abrams was on the same flight as the man with the largest taint. We then cut to Harold and Kumar, who find themselves beached along with the rest of the passengers. They panic for food, to which a vegan hipster couple inform them that they found dozens of microwavable meals from the plane and proceed to throw them into the ocean. This vegan hipster couple is also a recurring joke throughout the episode. This was written in 2014, can you tell? Also worth noting that the hipster girl is voiced by Kari Wahlgren. We then see a seagull dry humping a microwave turkey and getting eaten by a shark. Cool. The hipster guy proposes some vegan food alternatives and eats a poisonous mushroom, to which his eyes explode and he remarks, "Don't call me honey, it's made from bee semen," and then his head explodes. The fat guy from the plane almost eats one of these poisonous mushrooms and Kumar stops him, remarking how fat and meaty he is while getting hungrier. We cut to the people on the island all eating pieces of meat on a stick and see the fat guy from earlier with a chunk taken out of him as he eats a piece of himself. Harold refuses to eat a chunk of another man as we see the vegan girl from earlier furiously eating his meat. They stop eating as they hear something or someone in the bushes. Come to find out, the flight attendant managed to survive and has been eating food from the first class refrigerator. He blames Harold and Kumar for the plane crash as they took their phones out on the flight. After this revelation, J.J. Abrams opts to vote them out, a la Survivor. We see confessionals from various survivors, including the fat guy who writes down pancakes on a piece of cardboard and eats it. Harold votes Kumar out, to which Kumar butts in, and Harold remarks, "These confessionals were supposed to be private." Harold and Kumar are subsequently voted out and part ways afterwards. Kumar tells Harold, "Don't be surprised if I eat you. I love Korean barbecue." And Harold responds with, "I guess I'll be having Indian food, even knowing I'll get diarrhea." We go back to the apartment as Rosenberg and Goldstein hold a funeral for Harold and Kumar. We even see a picture of the two eating at White Castle. An old man voiced by Billy West gives a speech in memory of the two, claiming he was never a fan of but could at least commend that Harold and Kumar at least spoke English. His words, not mine. Kumar's dad gives a speech, but instead focuses on J.J. Abrams, saying that in J.J.'s hands, there is a hope for the future of Star Wars. A new hope. They then watch a slideshow in memory of Harold and Kumar. We see the two as babies, at their graduation, and Kumar putting his nuts on Harold's face in his sleep. Back on the island, Harold is rummaging through luggage in hopes of finding food, instead finding a basketball. Can you tell where this is going? We see Kumar trying to smoke various plants and then drinking the ocean water after believing he may have consumed poison ivy. With logs of wood found at sea, Kumar constructs a sailboat to get off the island, only to be interrupted by a polar bear in the middle of the ocean. Kumar continues his venture at sea, only for a whale to leap from the ocean, ejaculate on him, and splash him back on the island. back to Harold, who begins hallucinating that his basketball is talking to him. The basketball remarks, "Never seen a basketball talk before? Bet you never seen one piss either," and pisses on Harold. Harold's basketball then suggests that he kills himself. As Harold is about to hang himself on a tree branch, he notices Kumar, beached. As Harold approaches him, the polar bear from before walks off and proceeds to leave a fresh pile of shit. You know, I think I have a vague idea as to why this didn't become a full series. Harold and Kumar hear a tribe nearby and go to investigate. "Check out the size of those bananas," says Harold as we see two natives holding comically large bananas by their crotch area. "Or those giant melons," says Kumar as we see two native women holding two large melons. "Check out that star fruit," says Harold as we see a native bending over with the star fruit on their asshole. "What about that girl's vagina?" says Kumar as we see a native woman showering. The two are then discovered and run off. As they're being chased, presumably in reference to the gods must be crazy, Kumar exclaims, "How many movies are we gonna parody?"
You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke.
They run back to the rest of the plane survivors, only to be scolded by Dick. As it turns out, the natives were actually just passengers who crashed from the other half of the plane. The flight attendant then refers to them as, well, you know, it's a good thing I can actually show this bit.
And the backies. Backies.
Dick throws a spear at Kumar, to which Harold jumps out and takes a spear to his taint. Hilarity ensues, but I'm too lazy to recap it all. Harold and Kumar are then flown out to safety. Yay! Upon landing, Harold and Kumar see a crowd of people who they assume are for them, only to be told they're fans mourning the loss of J.J. Abrams. We see a crowd shot of mostly fat people in Star Wars and Star Trek cosplay, and a single woman holding up a sign for Felicity. Maria runs up to Harold, only to inform him that while he was gone, she fell in love with Chris Noth from Sex and the City, voiced by Fred Shore. He then tells Harold, "She cried in my arms and my dong cried in her vagina." I think I would have to kill myself. Kumar reassures Harold by telling him he'll always have his back, to which the ghost of J.J. Abrams in a Star Wars cosplay remarks, maybe that was the purpose of this journey after all. Harold's basketball then blurts out, "That was some crazy shit!" The episode isn't over as it ends on the trailer for the next Star Wars movie, directed by Tyler Perry, featuring Medea and the Star Wars character singing gospel. The end! I'm sure I might have some form of bias because I actually like the Harold and Kumar movies, but I'm able to acknowledge that this pilot isn't this hidden gem of masterful storytelling and comedy. It was written in 2014. Gay marriage wasn't even legal when this pilot was completed. They don't got internet, but hear me out. I can honestly see this working as a full series. Despite all the shit-eating and pee-pee-wee-wee humor in the pilot, I can honestly see the comedy of Harold and Kumar lending itself pretty well to an episodic comedy series. I'm not gonna pretend like Kumar's Clay Cock is some astute comedy that only intellectuals will understand, but this pilot was before the adult animation market would become oversaturated by shit like Big Mouth or The Prince or Hoops. Did you know that L Supersonic Q used to have the Dora pilot but held onto it for so long that he accidentally deleted it and made it lost media again? I know, what an idiot. Maybe the real Harold and Kumar were the friends we made along the way. I will see you all in my next lost media search, but please excuse me if I take too long to upload. I just booked my dream role in the upcoming Superbad animated series. You're not gonna believe this, but the crew actually gave me permission to give you guys a first look at the official concept art. Take a look.